Hey, good morning, Michelle.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. It's so nice to see you.
You too, you too.
So, I want to just jump right in and ask you about your earrings. I think there's something written on there. What's
There
going on?
is. I'm so glad you did, Mel. So I'm going to come up really close and personal to the screen. So I hope you can see that. They
Yeah,
are, you can see my
respect
wrinkles as well.
women.
Respect women. So I have my respect women, which, for those people who know me, there'll be no surprise about that. I would be wearing statement earrings, right, with my statement t shirts and everything like
Literal.
that. However, and they naturally dissolve, which is very cool. So I'm wearing these earrings today and for the next 16 days as my show of solidarity for the 16 days of activism. So today, and I'll tell you about the earring maker shortly. So today commences the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. Now, this is an international campaign. Excuse my cough. It's also the season of hay fever, so my asthma is dreadful. So today is the International Day for Elimination of Violence Against Women, the 25th of November, which granted is not yet the 25th of November in your part of the world. And the 16 days of activism runs through to the 10th of December, which is International Human Rights Day. So I've been taking part in this campaign in my own little way for, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 years. I was very fortunate to be an ambassador for Respect Victoria, which is our agency around eliminating violence against women here in Victoria, Australia. And these earrings are a collaboration between the House of Dizzy and Respect Victoria. Now, the House of Dizzy, what also makes my heart very happy is that the House of Dizzy is owned by the Queen of Bling. Her name is Christy Dickinson. And Christy is a very proud Wiradjuri woman. So she's a First Nations woman here in Australia, and she makes awesome statement earrings. Now, some of them I really love, but in my corporate environment, I wouldn't be able to wear them because they're like me, they're a bit sweary. So I'll put the link into the House of Dizzy into our chat. I'm just putting the 16 days of activism link in for those of you on LinkedIn. I'll do that later. But this is a really important day and period for me because the work that I do in workplace gender equality all stems from, I want women and girls to be equal and valued and respected. And violence, and whilst I'm not a violence against women practitioner, that's a very, very, specialised field, all violence against women starts with disrespect. And whilst all disrespect doesn't result in violence, it all begins with disrespect. And so the work that all of us do to lift up women, but also to create really equal, equitable, and respectful workplaces, this helps. It helps towards saying, let's stop women being killed, maimed, financially abused, emotionally abused. So there are some extraordinary statistics from Australia. At least one woman a week on average is murdered by her current or former intimate partner. 1 in 4 women since the age of 15 have experienced sexual or physical violence at the hands of a former or current intimate partner. So the statistics are dreadful. The statistics for Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander women are even worse. And they experience some of the highest incarceration rates and victimisation and marginalisation of any people in the world. So really important 16 days. And I've sent a newsletter out today to all of the people on my newsletter list, including our fantastic members in A Career That Soars, to give some ideas about how you might get involved. Because people are like, well, I can't do anything about, violence against women across the world, but we can by shining a light on it.
Yeah, tell us about that. So what, and I mean, it sounded like this is something that the UN promotes as well.
Yes,
And
yes, yes.
so
So UN Women.
okay, great. So tell us about that. What do they emphasize and what can people think about as far as engaging with this?
So there's a couple of things that everyone can make a difference. That's one of the key messages, and that difference can be. And I've included a toolkit in my newsletter that Respect Victoria have done, and that toolkit, one of it, and their campaign this year is around saying call it out. So when you see disrespect towards women and girls, call it out. Now that's not an easy thing to do if you're not equipped. And and certainly the work I do in workplaces is about saying how do we call out behaviour that's not in line with what we value. So there's a toolkit there. So learning how to be an upstander, not just a bystander. So how do I intervene when I see something, even if it's an off-colour remark, a casual sexism. I wrote about it this week earlier in my other newsletter. Casual sexism, those off-color jokes, the off-the-cuff remarks that belittle or demean women. Learning how to intervene. That these are the little steps that everyone can take. Mm-hmm. You can also, if you're active on social media, there's a whole social media toolkit. So you'll see across all of my socials over the next 16 days, one tile a day saying this is what we're going to focus on today. So just, even if you have one conversation with one person in the next 16 days about how might we have women and girls respected more and how might we contribute to eliminating violence against women, that would be a good thing.
That's great. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. What's on your mind this week with respect to the podcast, Lead to Soar?
Well, you and I we are kind of lifting up and looking at 2022 now because we've got, apart from one episode, we've got everything in the can for 2021, and our fabulous new editor and producer, Sienna, is working away madly to get those done. So I hope everyone's enjoying tuning in, and Sienna's really helping us to tighten things up and look for different ways of making a really great experience for you. So, but this week is a Get Shit Done episode about networking, and which is, of course, one of my favourite things to do
too.
And to talk about. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to people hearing that because it's a short episode. Because as you told our listeners before, every so often we put a Get Shit Done, like a short sort of 10 to 12 minute episode in just for a quick listen to go. And this is what you can do. So 5 tips on networking this week. And then next week, we've got the interview that I did with Dr. Jen Fram around what it means to be a leader of change.
Tell us about
that.
Which
is a ripper. Oh, it's a ripper. So Jen is a change practitioner, and I thought, I'm all over this. I've read her books, and I'm very privileged to have contributed to one of her books. But she just gave me some great insights into what leaders need to do about their own relationship to change, so that they can be a great change leader. And I guess what underpinned my, I was very curious to have this conversation, or very curious in this conversation with Jen, because I thought, what's more certain than death and taxes now? Change. Every organisation is constantly changing. People are going through restructures and the market changes. And, hello, the last 2 years, let's not talk about the C word. So Jen's got some really great tips about what we can do as leaders to go, how do I navigate and be a bloody good change leader? Not just good at change, a change leader. And not to put Jen out of a job, because we all need great practitioners like her, but how do I grow those 21st century leadership skills?
Excellent.
So it's very practical, lots of practical, actionable insights.
Excellent. I am excited. I haven't had a chance to listen to that one yet, so looking forward to that coming out.
Yeah. So what's happening for you, Mel?
Well, I'm excited about the episode that's coming after that with Amal Youssef, our other host inside A Career That Soars. She's just amazing. And we mentioned her before, but I'll just say it again, that, her story is one of a family becoming refugees, immigrating, and she has started a business, a very successful business that she sold, and then now is a leader in corporate America for a top airline, and she's just amazing. So that's not the only episode she's going to be on. We hope she'll be a recurring person just like Susan, because she has so many great insights to offer our community via Lead to Soar. So I'm excited about that. And then,
sorry to interrupt, Mel. And the thing I really value about Amal is that she really has, she is a Somalian woman. So she's a black woman in America, and she is really good at giving advice to both white leaders, but also other black women or women of colour to say how to navigate, frankly, a system that's still quite stacked, is stacked against women of colour. And, she's been extraordinarily successful and is very, very forthright, but she's got these great techniques for women of colour to navigate. So and as a white leader, I learn a lot from her as well about how to be a better ally as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So, I mean, beyond that, I'm looking forward to 2022 and the workshops and the courses that we're going to lead inside a career that soars. I think that I'm going to be doing one that's related to goal setting, but also probably implementing a long-term cohort for accountability and following up with one another, supporting one another. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, that's what I'm excited about.
Well, I know that the goal setting workshop you did earlier this year was really beneficial, and certainly the members who took part in it were saying, how do we keep going? How do we keep going? So I think that's great. And I know I just wrapped my final Get Shit Done boot camp last night with my current cohort, and they were saying, right, in 3 months' time, we need to get back together because, Michelle, you need to hold us accountable for what we've said we're going to, the shit we're going to get done. So, yeah, look, I think 2022 we've done some changes on a career that soars, really focused on creating that value for our members, and it's going to be a massive year for ambitious women to tap into this amazing resource. For those of you who are considering executive coaching, that's cool if that's your jam. But this community for $145 a year is an executive coach on steroids. So come and join us. Self-praise is no praise at all, but it is a really, really good community for ambitious business women.
Right. So let's kind of wrap up on that, just to give our listeners a few ideas of what's happening in there. So if you are a career woman, an ambitious woman looking to work your way up inside an organization, this is for you. This is not a space for entrepreneurs. Our focus is really to help women who are working in some type of public or private organization ascend. And, what I want to highlight for our courses and workshops is we do everything with live components threaded throughout. So we are not going to put you in an online space by yourself watching a bunch of pre-recorded videos and just leaving you alone and leave it up to you to, figure it out. The things that we facilitate and what we teach, we do it all in cohorts. We do it live. And so you get that live interaction where you can get perspective and feedback from other professional women. And it's such a critical piece to the learning and also giving back to our community of women professionals. So we're very proud of it, and we're proud of the changes that we've made to make things simpler, make things more streamlined. And we look forward to seeing you inside. So Michelle, I see you're dropping some links into the chat. And
I am.
Easiest way to get to us is acareerthatsoars.com.
100%. Yeah, thanks, Mel. What a great wrap. And this is actually about, I agree. It's not, like, self-paced learning is not for me. I know some people are good at it. I'm not. So we have this, you're right, we have these great courses with live coaching calls, peer-to-peer, content delivery. In my case, when I run Get Shit Done and your Mandal of Leadership, a good kick up the bum every week to say, come on, you said you're going to do this.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so come and check it out. And if you want to know more, you know where you can find Mel and I. Ping us a DM and we'll talk to you about it.
Yeah, we'd be happy to answer any questions.
All right. That's probably it for the week.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
See you folks. Bye.
Bye.